technicians. Plus, they work with your insurance company, saving you time. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
J&J Truck and Auto Body, 100% guaranteed.
Home really is the place to be. Landscapes by Forever Lawn can give your home the lush, natural grass appearance you expect without the work. Our premium materials and construction create a low-maintenance experience of transformational beauty and exceptional wear performance, allowing you time to enjoy your family and friends. Call 605-831-9026 or Google Forever Lawn in South Dakota. With dealerships on both sides of the state, we're ready to help you make one of the best upgrades you could add to your home sweet home. Forever Lawn in South Dakota.
Chatting here with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. All I know is where we live, boy, it's hard on vehicles.
That it is. We're here to take care of all your automotive needs.
I know you're an ASE and AAA approved repair facility. Well, what's that all mean?
It means we passed all the national requirements to be an authorized AAA automotive repair facility. Plus, our mechanics have passed thorough testing in all of the disciplines of auto repair to achieve their ASE certification.
Impressive.
So from oil changes to brakes and batteries, cooling, heating, or shocks and suspension, we're your answer.
A one-stop shop.
Absolutely. Plus, we carry over 50 brand name tires with deals as good as anywhere, and flat out the best brake deal around at just $399 per axle with new pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty for most vehicles.
That's an incredible brake deal.
You know, it really is.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialist. See anytime.com and at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Some breaking news in the NFL, as the NFL Network was the first to report that Dallas Cowboys guard Zach Martin is retiring after 11 seasons. 7-time a first-team All-Pro, 2 other times a second-team All-Pro in his 11 seasons for the Cowboys. Zach Martin is calling it quits. San Antonio Spurs center Victor Wembanyama will miss the rest of the season because of a blood clot in his shoulder. Wembanyama felt symptoms recently and was hoping the condition would improve following the All-Star break. He was diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. Mavericks forward Anthony Davis continues to improve from his adductor strain. He'll be re-evaluated in 2 weeks. Luka Doncic out for the Lakers tonight against Portland because of calf injury management is how the Lakers are describing it. And Bucks forward Bobby Portis suspended 25 games for testing positive for a banned substance. Yankees have given skipper Aaron Boone a 2-year contract extension. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, here we are on a Thursday, ready to go, starting to warm up a little bit across South Dakota, right? A little bit. But it is always a great day in South Dakota. Welcome in South Dakota Sports Talk Show back on Fox Sports Radio, the Nate Brown Show. Thanks for making this show possible. Hope you've had a great Thursday. Let's do it up right here. 2 hours, thought-provoking sports talk, local, regional, national guests across the board tonight. And it is Thursday. That means it's Thursday happy hour with our guest host, Rob Kegron, tonight in the second hour. So hang tight. We got to wait for Rob Kegron. You know, we anticipate Rob coming in. Second hour, he's ready to go. Rob Kegron, great host, stepping into the studio. A lot of work to do until then. Get going on a Thursday, the Nate Brown Show. On Twitter right now, stream us at Nate Brown Show. Follow us there and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show on Twitter. Welcome in if you're watching. And also on YouTube right now, The Nate Brown Show, the channel. Subscribe. You've got us live and archived. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Let's look at the Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight and get going. It is brought to you by Forever Lawn of South Dakota. Get on their schedule for spring and summer. It's going to be here before you know it. I don't know. It feels like it. It's going to be here. And Forever Lawn of South Dakota has the best lineup of artificial grass. If you've thought about this, you're tired of taking care of this, and what are you going to do with this section of lawn, that section, take a look at Forever Lawn of South Dakota. Google them, Forever Lawn in South Dakota. They're ready to install on both sides of the state. They've got the sports grass for turf fields. You want to put that in. They've got landscape grass looks really, really good. Maintenance-free stuff. Golf greens, canine grass, and playground grass. A full lineup. It is Forever Lawn in South Dakota. Google them and get started this year. The Forever Lawn guest lineup tonight looks like this. Matt Zimmer coming up. SiouxFallsLive.com. We'll talk Summit League, Jacks, USD, and more. Matt Zimmer straight ahead, SiouxFallsLive.com. Jackrabbit men got hit last night. It wasn't like a stunner, but I think it's showing as I'm watching the Summit League, especially on the men's side, there's about, 5 teams, you'd say? Is there about 4 or 5 teams that can be in this mix in Sioux Falls here coming up next month? So we'll take a look. Matt Zimmer's thoughts on the Jacks' loss last night to NDSU. Matt Zimmer straight ahead. Ryan Brown is on. He's not my cousin. He's a great guest. Ryan Brown, host down in the SEC country, Alabama. His show is called Next Round Live. He'll talk SEC in this college football playoff scenario that we're discussing. Ryan Brown, his thoughts from SEC country. And national host on Fox Sports Radio. You know him. You love him. Brian Noe pops on as we get started on a Thursday. National host, countdown to kickoff. Fox Sports Radio's Brian Noe on tap. There's the guest lineup. Let's get you on the show if you want in tonight. Yeah, you can make the show that much better. I know that. 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch at 3809 East 10th Street, Sioux Falls. Also in Brandon and 2 locations in Rapid City. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Hit us on the Pizza Ranch hotline, 605-720-1067. So you've got that for the Nate Brown Show. And one more, Barron's Wilson text line. Text the show if you can't call. Same number, 605-720-1067. Okay. So I saw something today, and I said, I don't need to be stirring up drama. We don't do that here. This isn't Hot Take Central, but I do want to talk about this, and I want to see what we're trying to get out of this. Do we need to tweak this? Is this going to work moving forward? What did I see today? Well, spring training's getting underway, and I just wanted to see if my Cubbies, down in the sun, it looks good. Baseball's almost here. It is here for the college players. We've already talked about that. But, yes, as cold as it's been, I thought, I'm going to check out some baseball coverage today. So the Cubs were playing the Dodgers, and you don't care, right? Neither do I. The Cubs are playing the Dodgers spring training. And what did I notice? First inning. What happened in the first inning? This is what they're testing out. The automated strike zone. They're testing it out in a ton of these spring training games. And it's not just the automated strike zone. What do they call it? The ABS? Is that what, all these names? So they got the automated strike zone, but they're actually testing out how they're going to implement it. It's not just the robot umps. Like, we still have real umps, real catchers. I mean, we haven't gone away from that. But you can challenge balls and strikes. So I was kind of getting clued in on this today going, wait a second, I know Major League Baseball is looking at getting the strikes and balls right. I know they're looking at this automated stuff. They've tried this in the minor leagues, and now they try it out. Major League Baseball, spring training. Nobody cares about who wins or loses these games. That's not the point. But the point is this what we want moving forward to try and get balls and strikes right? I'm sitting here looking at this thing. This was first inning today, and I didn't watch much of the game. A lot of things popping today, okay? I didn't watch much of spring training. Cubs, Dodgers. My Cubs pitcher facing Max Muncy throws a pitch, and it was called a ball. So the Cubs pitcher can challenge it, or the Cubs catcher, whoever it is. I don't know how this thing worked. I just know that after the pitch today, the catcher or the pitcher challenged it, and then we took a little time. We stepped out of the box. Muncy stepped out of the box, and then the umpire went over to the TV and said, it was actually a strike. And so then they showed the automated strike zone and the pitch trajectory and how it crossed the bottom of the zone. So the umpire changed his call from a ball to a strike. And then the announcers are like, all right, and now we're back to it. And the Cubs will still have 2 more challenges if they keep getting their challenges right. So I'm explaining this to you, how this is going down. This is the game of baseball, which doesn't move that fast anyway. Now we're going to challenge balls and strikes because we have the automated strike zone. So now Max Muncy, in the same at-bat, he could challenge a bad call that he thinks. So then we're going to stop it again. It didn't happen today. And after that fiasco, I'm just like, oh, my God, we got how much spring training left and 162 games to come here this spring and summer. Let's be careful if we start implementing stuff like this. And I understand the baseball purists. You guys can't be happy with this, can you? Like, I'm talking the baseball purist out there today. You can't be happy with automated strike zone, ball strikes being challenged, and you go to the automated strike zone and the review. You can't be happy with that, even if you think, baseball's not, it's the America's favorite pastime. It'll be okay. It's fine. You can't be happy with, we're going to challenge balls and strikes now? So let me throw this out of the Nate Brown Show. I think you can tell the way I feel here. I'm not a baseball purist. I'm a Cubs fan. I've loved baseball. One of my first games I played it all the way through. I really think I love baseball. I probably got a little disconnected with it, I don't know, probably the past 5 years. But I like baseball, and I like watching the Cubs, and they haven't been very good. That's probably part of the problem. So when your team's in it, your team's in the run, man, it's nothing better. Postseason baseball and the whole thing. But I'm going to ask myself here today, are we that upset with Angel Hernandez getting these calls wrong? And he got some wrong. He gets a lot wrong. The umpires are missing the balls and strikes. I've got a buddy here, and he talks to me about this. He sends me these videos. I mean, I'm even getting like TikTok videos. I don't even think that was the thing from this guy, but he sends me these videos. See, this call's wrong. That strike's wrong. That ball's wrong. And he said, we got to get this right. So I'm wondering, is he happy today? Is this guy is over 60. Is he happy today? He's a baseball guy. He wants the balls and strikes right, but we're not just using the automated strike zone. What they're testing out is this formula, the challenging system. So if the Cubs get the challenge right today, which they did on one of the first at-bats of the game, first inning, then they get to keep their 2 challenges. They just get to keep them in perpetuity. So it's not just limited to 2 challenges a game. You get to keep challenging balls and strikes. This is nuts. Am I right? Am I right in saying this is crazy at all? Let's take a quick call on this. Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I had to turn my radio down.
Okay, what do you say? Are you there?
I say, heck no.
Okay,
Heck no, Nate. You guys are ruining my game.
You guys?
You guys your age and younger. Oh, we gotta have perfection. Oh, you gotta give him $50 million, and he ain't won a playoff game.
I've never been that guy. I'm not the guy. I've never been that guy. You got the wrong guy. But nonetheless.
No, but you like change. You were happy with a few of the changes. I'm not. You keep screwing with baseball, and we'll lose more fans.
Okay. I don't like the ghost runner, that thing. They got rid of that. But, yeah, the pitch clock, I'm okay with that. I
didn't think you needed one until we got to the pretty boys of the 90s and 2000s. I mean, Bob Gibson, you watch any game he pitched, he was on that mound before he threw the ball maybe 2 seconds.
Yeah, but now these guys, they're back and forth, and they're up and down, and they're taking forever. But here's the thing. We're going to do the pitch clock, and now we're going to challenge balls and strikes? Are we crazy?
They're crazy, Nate. You're ruining the game. When I say you, I mean them.
All right, man.
They're ruining the game.
I appreciate you. Thanks for getting on.
You got 40 pitchers on a team now. I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
But I can remember the 70s they throw out an infielder. You know, the game's out. Just throw out Billy. He's not doing anything at second base anyway.
No, I get it. All right, so you want
Old time, man. Don't let it lose, Nate. We're dying, man. You guys got to fight for us.
All right, appreciate you. Thanks for getting on. I will. I'm going to try and fight for the old guard. Is that okay? I mean, sometimes I get accused of being an old man yelling at the clouds. I'm not that old yet. Sometimes I get accused of stirring up drama. Well, come on, give me a break. So, MLB started their new experiment. It allows teams to challenge balls and strikes. And so I got to say, this is happening in spring training. I just watched this today with my Cubs. I mean, it was one pitch of an at-bat. Think about this. It was one pitch in the first inning. Nobody on, one out. It was called a ball, and the Cubs challenged it. We took some time. The umpire... It was actually a strike. They showed the replay through the strike zone. Oh, yeah, it hit the bottom of the zone. The count's 1-1. Oh, man, we saved it. We saved the pitcher. Oh, my God. This is going to change the whole game for the Cubs. Did they win today? Anybody know? Couldn't care less. Let's see. Challenging balls and strikes with the automated strike zone in spring training's the experiment. Is this what you want to get the calls right? We're so mad at the umps that miss these calls, and so, I get it. They miss them. I mean, there's some bad calls. But we're going to allow challenges throughout the entire game? Let's say, oh, you only get 2. Not if you keep getting them right. So this should be, let me be serious about this. I think you're going to have to limit this. If you're going to go this route, you're going to have to limit the time that you can challenge these. Late game situations, I don't know. Scoring plays, I just don't know. Because this challenging nonstop, if you keep getting them right, the Cubs could challenge all day today. I can't do that. So now we've went from getting bad calls from the umps to taking more time. And listener reaction to this, somebody said, I'm so sick of umps like Angel Hernandez. Yes, umpires have a place in the game, but their judgment should not be the ultimate law. Well, but it is. I mean, that's what officiating is. That's the human element of the game, and that's why I've never really liked the automated strike zone thing anyway, as this started coming out. I've never been a robot ump guy. I'm just not a robot ump guy. Well, what do you mean? We got real umps. Yeah, I know, and then they got to take time. That was my bad. Sorry, it was a strike. Counts 1-1. Back in the box. I mean, I just don't think this is the way this is going to play out. Listener reaction. So will we now have 4-hour games? Get rid of the ump behind the plate and do it all automated. Then they don't have to challenge. That's a listener reaction. So that's kind of what I thought was going to happen if you went to this automated strike zone. You just essentially every ball and strike would be caught by the computer, and it relayed it to the earpiece of the ump, and he'd say, ball, strike. Just call the game, ball, strikes. That's what I thought was going to happen, but no, it's actually challenges is what they're testing in spring training. Is this what you want? 605-720-1067. Listener text, the challenges are quick and limited. They did it at a minor league game I went to, and it didn't affect the pace of the game at all. I liked it. Well, I understand, but the one that I saw just today, Cubs-Dodgers, it did affect it. And it's not just one. It's a lot. It could happen a lot. Trying to speed up baseball, I could just see the younger generation going, well, what are we doing? We're in the 3rd inning, and we've been here an hour and a half? Yeah, because we've had 10 challenges on Angel Hernandez balls and strikes today. Oh, my goodness. What do you say? Is this what you want? Let's go to the text line here. Listener text, human error is part of the game. Just leave it. Just leave it. Okay. Listener text, the robo-ump's going to ruin baseball. You can't make an imperfect game perfect. Listener text, MLB commissioner needs to go. If he was a true baseball fan, he would have never approved the idea of a computer deciding balls and strikes. What do you say to this? 605-720-1067. Spring training started up. Balls and strikes can be challenged by the players. Is this what you want to get these calls right? Balls and strikes. 54% of you say yes, you have to get it right. 54% of you say you have to get it right. You guys are going to be tired of this. I have a feeling you're going to be tired of this. A lot of challenges. I just saw the first one today in my Cubs game. I'm going, oh boy, this ought to be fun all season. Thanks for listening. You're live and you go ahead.
Nate, I think you're missing the point.
Okay.
I think that, like you said, it's going to, if you keep winning your challenges, the ump's doing something bad, right? He's not making the balls and the strikes. So if you have more than two, then it should be discipline for the ump. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, so you're saying this is a way.
There hasn't been any discipline for these guys over the years. Angel Hernandez had to let himself go because nobody would take accountability. So that's just my view. And it'll come around. It's going to take a little adjustments, just like everything else. But I think that, this overreaction that it's going to ruin the game, I think is just far-fetched.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for the opinion. Yep. Thanks for getting in. That's what listeners are saying. I got some baseball fans saying it's going to ruin it. So I'm telling you, I'm not a baseball purist. I am a baseball fan. I'm a Cubs fan, and watched them the Harry Carey days, the whole thing, and grew up on this. And I'm looking at this going, I know there might be need to be ump accountability. That's what that last caller said. Ump accountability. What is there? Well, that's the MLB side of this. They probably have to do a better job there because the umpire, there hasn't been a lot of accountability. That's right. There's guys that aren't very good, and they've just been continued to run the show. I get it, but I don't know if challenging balls and strikes, this would be like being able to challenge everything all the time in football. You'd be able to challenge every single thing. Holding. Everything. I mean, just all the time. This is balls and strikes. This is, you got how many balls, how many pitches every game. So I don't like the idea of challenging balls and strikes. Listener text, I'm confused on what we want. We don't want robots controlling the game of baseball, but we want chips in the footballs. Well, yeah, chips in the footballs, that's real. The umps, robot umps, those are AI. Those are scary. Let's see. Listener text, this is all about gambling. MLB wants the ability to bet on every pitch, and they need the calls to be perfect. Really? Really? I don't know about that. I think that might be a little extreme. Bet on every pitch? Challenging balls and strikes. I didn't like how it played out, at least in the first inning of my first spring training game today, when my Cubs challenged one of the first pitches of the game. It's like, it's not that big a deal. It was going to be 2-0. Just battle back. Nope, it's 1-1. We challenged it. One more call on this. Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
Nate. There's an event happening tonight that's the biggest event in 45 years, and you're talking about umpires in baseball?
Oh, hang on. We'll get to this. It's next. Hang on. We'll get to it. Hang on.
Okay.
I gotta keep you tuned in a little longer than 20 minutes, okay?
All right, man. Good night.
Thanks, buddy. Yes, actually, we're going to talk about Four Nations next. Hey, thanks for teeing that up. Brian Noe, his read on the hockey revival, is that what it is? Brian Noe, Fox Sports Radio on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Now's your chance. Tackle those bigger projects with an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Transform your home with a new Dakota closet. Build your dream bathroom and save on luxury tubs and showers. Customize your kitchen with Clearview Cabinetry. Or start your big garage project. Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Menards. 11% mail-in rebate is a merchandise credit check. Good on future in-store purchases. See Menards.com for details.
Save big money at Menards.
President's Day sale is on at Splash City. Rest, relax, and enjoy a new Sundance or Jacuzzi spa. Splash City has a large inventory of hot tubs, swim spas, and saunas. No wait time. Right now, during the President's Day sale, get 0% financing for 60 months on hot tubs and swim spas, or up to $5,000 in instant rebates. Plus, get an accessory package valued at $2,000 with all qualifying purchases. But wait, there's more. Get 0% financing for 36 months on saunas. Visit Splash City in Sioux Falls, Rapid City, or Sioux City. It's time to make a splash. You've earned it.
Find your new Cadillac at Danny Manhole Rapid Cadillac. Shop our best selection in years. We have 25 new Cadillacs available for immediate delivery. Get financing as low as 3.9% APR with up to a $1,000 purchase allowance on select models. Choose from all-wheel drive 2025 Lyriq EVs with a $7,500 federal tax credit. Get your new Cadillac right here in Rapid City from Danny Manhole Rapid Cadillac or rapidcadillac.com. Like the finance contract is limited with qualified credit, expires 3/3/25.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows of love around 8 above. Tonight, under clear skies, southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, high of 42. Mainly clear skies tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 22. Mainly cloudy skies expected Saturday with highs around 51, 61 Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 12 degrees.
Find your fortune and fall for big wins during the Love and Luck promotion at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. Join us every Friday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. to midnight for prize drawings that grow bigger each hour. Then, don't miss the grand prize event on Saturday, March 29th, where 10 lucky winners will take home prizes ranging from $500 to $5,000. Let Love and Luck bring you big wins and even bigger thrills. Only at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort in Deadwood. How will your night play out?
At Highmark Credit Union, we are big sports fans, and even bigger fans of our teachers. That's why we offer debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. These cards are awesome, and every time you use your card, Highmark makes a donation to the school activity clubs. Highmark has donated over $5,000 locally to Rapid City and Douglas schools. So make the smart money move, show your school spirit, and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com.
Hey Rush fans, it's Rob at the Firehouse Skybox. We are your official home for Rapid City Rush hockey. When the Rush are playing on the road, join other Rush fans at the Skybox and enjoy some great food and cheer on your Rush. We show every Rush away game and we'll have Rush-themed giveaways every road trip. You'll get a chance to win great Rush prizes with the purchase of a drink or food item. The Skybox has the best food and the best Rush game day experience. Go Rush!
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. Your sports, your show. The Nate Brown Show is on. Thursday edition coming up. Rob Kagron live in studio. Second hour, full hour with Rob Kagron. It's happy hour coming up with our guest host. Matt Zimmer's on tonight from Sioux Falls Live. Talk Summit League hoops and more. Well, Brian Noah's in tonight kicking us off. Fox Sports Radio national host. I just had a listener call in. He was upset that I hadn't talked about the Four Nations Face-Off Championship yet. Let's do it. I mean, we're going to hit on this tonight. Four Nations. Seems like it's been a great success. I'm not a hockey expert. I don't watch a ton of hockey. But you look at it, people are hyped. The betting market's really going. And people are saying this Canada-USA thing, this rivalry, this is really, really good stuff that's putting hockey in the limelight. What do you say about this first experience of the Four Nations?
What's going on there, Nate Brown? Always good to hang out with you, and shout out to the Black Hills as always. But this has been a tremendous success for hockey, Nate, and it's one of these deals where I think it was Connor McDavid who last night was saying this is like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. It's like you'll never play a bigger hockey game, and it's like, holy cow, this is what replaced the All-Star game. You know what I mean? Like, you go from the All-Star game, which is just a collective shoulder shrug and not even paying attention at all to this. And it has been a tremendous success. I know a lot of people that are not close to diehard hockey fans that are all in on this thing. So, yeah, shout out to the NHL, man. They came up with a concept and a format that has been a grand slam for them. I think it really, really helps the NHL. And it'll be fun tonight, man. Canada and the USA. Will Canada get revenge with the earlier loss? I say they will, Nate Brown. I'm betting Canada. I know. Shame me, but I think it's the right side tonight.
Oh, so you said it's a great thing for the NHL, or it will be a great thing for the NHL. That's what I'm not so sure on. I'm not so sure that this Canada-USA thing, this stuff works, but then we go back to the NHL season, and I think it's just still the NHL, which is ratings have been on the decline, and it's a really rabid sports fan base. They love their hockey, but it hasn't appealed to a huge audience. I don't know if the Four Nations brings hockey up, but I would say you should do this Four Nations thing all the time. That's my read.
Yeah, I hear you, and there's some truth to what you're saying. I just look at it where is there going to be all of a sudden this ratings boom, and you're like, holy cow, the NHL has turned into the NFL. Like, no, of course not. That's not going to happen. Will it get a subtle shot in the arm, ratings-wise? Yeah, I think it can. And then also, Nate, you get the power of a callback. You know what I mean? And you never know what, say, Stanley Cup final matchup you're going to have. There's many people watching tonight and pulling for the U.S. against Canada. What if you have two NHL teams that meet in the Stanley Cup final, and one is a star from Canada and one is a star from the U.S.? That's going to be good for the Stanley Cup final. You just have more ways to market the NHL. There are more ways to call back and get some value out of Four Nations. So, yeah, I'm not expecting this just ratings bonanza, but there are subtle things that you can build. I'll put it to you this way. You'd like this as a radio guy. There was a consultant we had. I know. Don't let me lose you. We had a consultant one time. I was running a station in New York, and he said to me one time, it always stuck with me. He's like, you know what, Brian? You make this small tweak here. You make a small change there. You make a smart decision here, and all of a sudden you've got a really good radio station. And it's similar in sports. It's going to take a gradual process for the NHL to really get somewhere ratings-wise, and I think this is a step. It's not like you're taking the escalator and it's the fast pass on the amusement park ride, and it's, boom, instant success, but it's a step towards success, and I think they can only benefit from that.
Four Nations Face-Off Championship tonight, Canada, USA, 6 o'clock coming up. Brian Nozon tonight, Fox Sports Radio national host, getting us started on the Nate Brown Show. And here's one more on the hockey side. I think hockey players are respected by people in general. They're tough. They work hard. They don't skip games. It's like they're opposite of some of the other pro athletes that we always bang on. Oh, they're load management. They're this. And so I'm like, we love the hockey mindset. How come hockey can't get the ratings?
I know. It's a legitimate question, Nate. I ask myself the same thing because everything about hockey is right up my lane.
Yes.
As far as a sports fan, like everything, Nate, it's played by tough dudes. It's played by a bunch of dudes that will get teeth knocked out, and they're on, like, jacked up hips, and it's like, whatever, tape it up, we're hockey players. I love that. I love that there's not a whole lot of ego in hockey. Yep. I love that it's a physical game. It's fast-paced, and I don't care at all. I don't care whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so I don't get it. I don't get me. So I can't begin to start talking about other people. It's just, it has a lot of the ingredients that I like, and I just don't find myself grabbed by it. But I've been grabbed by this Four Nations face-off, man. I think it's been great. And if you can grab people like me who are pretty much just completely tuned out, you have won. And I think that's a great step for the NHL, and maybe build this thing each year. That's the other thing, Nate. Think about where this can go from here. It was the perfect storm where Canadians are booing the anthem, and now all of a sudden we're having 3 fights in 9 seconds, and everybody's like, go Team USA. It's been great, and I think that can get bigger. And I think there is a trickle-down effect to the NHL gaining some popularity. I really do believe that.
And you are taking Canada tonight. What's wrong with you?
Hey, man, I think it's the right side, Nate. You know, Team USA, they've beaten Team Canada once in international play since 2010. One win since 2010, and it happened, like, within a week. You know, so does Lightning strike twice again? I'm saying it doesn't. I'm going to bet on Team Canada in hockey. I know that can be crazy, but listen, man, I love the U.S. I'm the person that won't pick or bet anything in terms of the duration of the national anthem during the Super Bowl because I really do. I reflect on everybody who fought, died, served for our freedom. So that's where my mindset is. I don't care if the anthem goes 90 seconds or 89 seconds. That's not where my focus is. So it's not anything being un-American or not patriotic. I think Canada's the right side. And so I'm not going to get caught up in the nostalgia. I've already bet Team Canada. We'll see how it works out.
I still booed you just now. I booed you. You didn't hear it.
That's fine, man. I welcome that. I get that. No doubt. No problem at all.
Brian Noon tonight, Fox Sports Radio. You can hear him right here. Countdown to kickoff and national host on Fox Sports Radio. Okay. This is what you don't expect to talk about, baseball on February 20th. But spring training's underway, and I wanted to see how this new automated strike zone test worked. So my Cubs they played the Dodgers earlier today. They have this automated strike zone challenge system, Brian. So check this out. Mm-hmm. You get a pitch, and then if the ump calls it a ball or strike and you disagree, you challenge it. And you have unlimited challenges if you keep getting them right. You can challenge every pitch if you keep getting it right. Is this what we want? Challenging balls and strikes. They're testing it out in the MLB.
Yeah, man, Nate, I'm open to it. Listen, I love the system in tennis because it's so quick and they get it right. So if it's fast like that in Major League Baseball, I'm open to it. I put it like this. I haven't watched spring training or these AAA games. I haven't seen it. I haven't gotten a feel for it. So to me, it's like trying on a pair of shoes. I wear typically size 11. But I don't just grab size 11 off the shelf and say, oh, it's going to work fine. I try the shoes on. I walk around in the shoes. I see if they feel right or if it's that rare instance where I need an 11.5 or whatever. That's how I feel about this ABS system where I might like it a lot. I might dislike it. But I got to feel it and see it for myself. And I don't know, honestly. I'm optimistic I'm going to like it. If it's quick, if it's like tennis, I think I'll be fine with it. But I don't know until I really see it, especially at the major league level, to get a true feel for it. I think it's like a pair of shoes you got to try on.
I didn't think it was that quick today. My Cubs pitcher made the pitch. It was first inning. It was like no matter. It didn't matter. And he challenged it. It was called a ball. He challenged it. We took some time. Max Muncy stepped out of the box. We took some time. The umpire, and then he said, oh, actually, it was a strike. And then we had to show the replay of how it came across as a strike. I'm like, so you're going to feel it all right, Brian. No, you're going to feel it like 30 times a game.
Oh, man, I don't know if I'm going to like that, Nate. If it takes that long, I'm out. Like, if you just explain to me the challenges in college basketball, like, hey, we can take a look at goaltending. We can take a look at if the ball is out of bounds on a certain team. Okay, I'm open to that. But if you're taking 2-3 minutes, if you're unnecessarily just relying on replay to make sure and it's slowing the game down to a screeching halt, it can't be like that, man. It's got to be like tennis. It's got to be quick. It's got to be as seamless as possible because if it isn't, I'm probably going to dislike it.
Brian Noe tonight, Fox Sports Radio, 4 Nations to MLB, knocking it down tonight. Brian, always appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Always great being with you, Nate, and at the risk of making everybody mad, oh, Canada. I think it's the right side, but I welcome you trolling me if it isn't next time.
Good luck, and thank you. I don't know which side to be on, but Brian Noe's taking Canada tonight in the 4 Nations Face-Off Championship. 4 Nations. Is it a revival for the NHL kind of mid-season here? People watching like, hey, I'm going to bring in some new fans tonight that haven't been watching the NHL season. I got a listener text on this. Nate, it's not a revival. It's just like soccer. We only care about the sport mainly when countries play each other, like the World Cup. That's what he said. Well, but that's the point. Why they did the Four Nations. I think you got to credit them. Say, hey, they got some of these games going. I mean, that's the point, and that's why people are interested tonight. Canada, USA coming up in the Four Nations Championship. That's an interesting one. NBA, of course, is out to lunch. They didn't try the USA versus the world in the All-Star game, and then everybody's been still talking about the All-Star game. Even today, it's like, guys, it's over. Move on, as they tell me. Move on. Ryan Brown, we're going to move on to him. Great host in SEC country. Next Round Live is the show. Yeah, I'll talk to him about Kalen DeBoer, second year coming up, but is the SEC going to get a power grab in the college football playoff? Ryan Brown from Alabama next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February snow and cold. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today, and please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Andersen.
And Honda certified pre-owned at Denny Menno Rushmore Honda. Get financing as low as 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Civics, CRVs, HRVs, and Passports. 0.99. Plus, shop a lot full of used cars, trucks, and sport utilities, including a great selection of all-wheel drive and 4x4 trucks and SUVs. See us at Denny Menno Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com. Length of finance contract is limited with qualified credit. Expires 2/28/25.
Being in business has its rewards as well as its challenges. It means being the first one in the door in the morning and turning off the lights when you leave at night. Your business is unique, and you need a bank that understands your needs. You deserve the best. You need a financial partner that is invested in your success. You need Pioneer Bank and Trust. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their number one priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
Oh, good stuff tonight on a Thursday. Thanks for being a part of the program. The Nate Brown Show is live, Fox Sports Radio. Across South Dakota, you can stream us on X at Nate Brown Show. Watch the show live at Nate Brown Show on X. Follow us and watch us live. Welcome in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Thursday edition means happy hour straight ahead with Rob Kegron live in studio. We'll shoot it around with Rob. Yes, Rob Kegron's coming in second hour. Hang on. Matt Zimmer's on tap tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com. Matt Zimmer coming up. Ryan Brown's back on. Appreciate his time. Great show in Alabama. Next Round Live. NextRoundLive.com. Find him on Twitter at Ryan Brown Live. I want to talk a little college football and more. Ryan, welcome back on. How are you?
I'm awesome, Nate. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for hopping in. Before we get to football, I got to get to hoops. I know March Madness is coming up. People are like, what's going on in college basketball? The SEC Conference, Ryan Brown, in college basketball, how would you describe it?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying it's the best conference season in the history of college basketball. I mean, it's been a meat grinder, honestly. I mean, aside from Auburn, everybody's got at least 3 losses. Auburn's only got the 1 home loss to Florida, but Alabama picked up their 3rd conference loss last night. Florida's got 3 conference losses. I mean, it's been a war every single night. And you just look at the remainder of Alabama's schedule, for instance. Every team they play from here on in is a top 20 team, and they got 5 games left. So it's brutal, man. But it's been fun to watch. That's for sure.
So with this many good teams, is this where I see reporting this week that the NCAA may want to even go to 76 teams from the 68. Is that why, to get in more teams like SEC teams that are good?
Yeah, I think, Nate, the big conferences are who is behind this just to get more teams in. I mean, of course, you look right now, I mean, I don't know that it would impact the SEC all that much. Now, they got some bubble teams. Oklahoma is probably on the wrong side of the bubble. That's a team that can play their way back in. Arkansas lost a tough one at Auburn last night. They're probably a bubble team. Win at Auburn probably would have put them in. But, you know, I mean, the SEC, they're probably going to get a record 12 teams in, maybe 13 this year. So there's only going to be a handful of teams like LSU and South Carolina. Even if you expand it to 76, they're not in. So, you know, there'll be some years where it probably wouldn't change a whole lot. But I do think it's the big conferences that are behind it just to get more teams in this, and I don't like it. Like, I guess I'm just a little bit old school. The play-in games don't do a ton for me. I kind of liked it back when it was just 64. I thought it was perfect back then.
Okay, so you wouldn't necessarily go to 76. So how about the college football playoff then? SEC meeting with the Big Ten this week in New Orleans, and they're talking about a bunch of stuff, but the national reporting is saying the SEC and the Big Ten are eventually going to want more teams, automatic bids into an expanded college football playoff. Is that legitimate, Ryan, because these conferences have changed into the power teams that they are?
So, it's 100% legitimate. So they met down in New Orleans. Tony Petitti, the Big Ten commissioner, Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, and then some of the presidents and ADs from those conferences met. The thing they came away with that they're willing to talk about is the Big Ten and the SEC want the seeding changed this coming season.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that can be changed because it's still in the final year of the ESPN deal, and it would require a unanimous vote. I don't know that you're going to get a unanimous vote on that, but I think eventually the seating is going to be changed. It only makes sense. It was so confusing the way it was done last year. Like, all the SEC and the Big Ten are saying is let's rank these teams 1 through 12, or if we expand to 14, 1 through 14, or if we expand to 16, 1 through 16. And that's your seeds. I mean, you got them ranked. You just seed them by ranking, and then everybody knows where everybody is. It was convoluted the way they did it this year, and it made it a weaker product. Now, I don't know if that's going to get pushed through, but what really is the bigger stuff is what they're talking about for the future. I think it'll, there's talks of 14 or 16.
Yep.
The way I understand it, they don't necessarily get more money from ESPN if it's 14. So that would tell me they're probably looking at 16. And you referenced the fact that the SEC wants 4 guaranteed spots. The Big Ten wants 4 guaranteed spots. They would give 2 guaranteed spots to the Big 12 and the ACC. And then Notre Dame, assuming they're in the top 14 or 16, depending on how many playoff spots there are, they're in. And then a group of 5 team. And then depending on whether you're at 14 or 16, you would have some at-large. And everybody's like, oh, my God, how greedy of the SEC. But just stop and ask yourself this question. If it's a 16-team playoff, how many years are you not going to have 4 SEC teams and 4 Big Ten teams in the top 16? And that's going to be every year. So I think this is a lot of teeth gnashing and hand-wringing about nothing. Even if you just don't guarantee those 4 teams, every year you're going to have 4 SEC teams and 4 Big Ten teams in the top 16 teams. That's just the way it's always going to be.
Okay, that's interesting you point that out. So you do think, hey, you're going to have that many teams. Half of the teams in the top 16 are going to be out of the SEC Big Ten. You really believe that?
I do, but and I'm not saying, Nate, that's great for the sport. It is becoming a Big Ten SEC-centric sport just with the expansion. I mean, you can only help when the SEC goes against Texas and Oklahoma, the 2 best brands out of the Big 12. And when the Big Ten goes and gets Oregon, USC, UCLA, and Washington, the best brands out of the Pac-12, I mean, it's only natural that that it's going to be more Big Ten and SEC-centric. They've got all the big brands. I mean, outside of an SEC, a Big Ten, and Notre Dame, what are the big brands in college football? What are the TV draws in college football? I mean, the Big 12 really doesn't have any. And the ACC, maybe if Florida State and Miami are good, those are big TV draws, but they really don't have any. And TV runs this thing. And I get it. Look, if you're in South Dakota, you probably look at this and you're like, well, we don't have any SEC or Big Ten teams. It doesn't feel like our sport anymore. And I get it that fans may feel that way, and that could be to the detriment of the sport. We'll have to see.
Okay, so Ryan Brown on tonight. The show is Next Round Live. Really good show out of Alabama. Follow him on Twitter at Ryan Brown Live, talking SEC, Big Ten, maybe looking for 4 guaranteed spots. I threw that out in a question of the day to my audience, just South Dakota, and I said, should they get 4 automatic bids? My audience said no pretty heavily. I think that's the automatic knee-jerk, as you said. It's like, well, no, you shouldn't get 4 automatic, because people just think, man, if you finish 4th, you're in the national title hunt? You finish 4th in the Big Ten or SEC, you're a national title contender?
But I think that's the way it's going to be anyway. I mean, think about it. Who finished 4th, Nate, in the Big Ten this year?
I didn't see that.
Ohio State.
Oh, well,
they did.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon was the Big Ten champion.
Yeah.
They played Penn State, who finished 2nd. Indiana had 1 loss. They finished 3rd. Ohio State finished 4th.
An interesting,
that was the Big Ten champion.
Yeah, an interesting 4th place finish for them, I would say.
Yeah.
But interesting stuff. Okay, I want to get your read on Kalen DeBoer, Ryan. 2nd year coming up. What is the field right now down in Alabama around Kalen DeBoer? First year, they missed the playoff. I know people are upset. What's the 2nd year like?
Well, he's got to make the playoffs. And there is some renewed optimism with Ryan Grubb, who was his offensive coordinator. It's been with him every step of the way. And he stayed behind and took over the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator role, and it didn't quite work out for him. And the Seahawks let him go, so he's back with Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. And I think that's re-energized some Alabama fans. Jalen Milroe kind of fell out of favor with Alabama fans late there, so I think they're kind of happy to turn the page at quarterback, and they're certainly happy that Ryan Grubb, a guy Kalen DeBoer is very comfortable with, is back in that offensive coordinator role. But, expectations are to make the college football playoff and contend for the national championship. That's what the expectations are every year at Alabama. He didn't do it last year, so it only magnifies those expectations this year. That's not to say Alabama's going to fire him if he doesn't, but he'll feel some considerable heat if he can't find a way into the college football playoffs this upcoming season. And I don't know if making the playoffs is just enough. I mean, I think you probably need to advance and win a game or 2 in the college football playoffs just to kind of reset it for Alabama football fans.
Last one really quick, Ryan Brown on tonight from Alabama. Were fans more frustrated with Kalen DeBoer or Jalen Milroe? It seemed like it just didn't quite work.
That's a really good question, Nate. I don't know the answer to that. I would probably say more frustrated with DeBoer, but that's a tough question. I'd have to give that some consideration.
All right.
Maybe next time I'm on, hit me with it again, and let me give it some thought, because that's actually a really difficult question.
Okay, you throw that in the Next Round Live. You've got my permission. You throw that one in. Let the Alabama fans go off. Next Round Live is the show. Ryan Brown on tonight. Always appreciate the segment. Thanks a lot.
All right, Nate. Have a good one, my man.
Appreciate it. Ryan Brown talking Alabama, SEC, and more from Next Round Live. The show on in Alabama covers the Crimson Tide. Find him on Twitter at Ryan Brown Live. Let's go to the question of the day. Results. Do you want challenge of balls and strikes? Spring training has started. The experiment for MLB is every player, the teams, they can challenge balls and strikes. As long as they keep getting them right, they can keep challenging them every at-bat. Is that what you want to get balls and strikes right? 605-720-1067. Sound off on the text line. We're back with that next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February's snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today. And please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows of love around 8 above. Tonight, under clear skies, southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies tomorrow, high of 42. Mainly clear skies tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 22. Mainly cloudy skies expected Saturday with highs around 51, 61 Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 12 degrees.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, presented in part by Boston's, the new Boston's in Sioux Falls. Hey, you want to hit it? Great place. Gourmet pizza, great wings, burgers. If you haven't tried Boston's, try it. It's at West Russell Street in the Ramada Water Park Hotel, so you know where it's at, right? Bring the crew to the new Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar in Sioux Falls, West Russell Street. Order online. Order it up tomorrow. Get your lunch good to go. Bostons.com. Start there. Great food and drinks, wall-to-wall TVs. Watch the big games at Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar, West Russell Street, Sioux Falls. Online to go at bostons.com. All right, Matt Zimmer's coming up, SiouxFallsLive.com. Hang on. Matt Zimmer on tap tonight here on The Nate Brown Show. Our question of the day. People have sounded off. I like that. Give me your feedback on the question of the day. Spring training's underway. Normally it's not a huge deal, but I wanted to see what this new system would be like. Major League Baseball's testing it out. It's not like they're going to do it in the regular season, thank the Lord. But they're testing this out to see if this would work, challenging balls and strikes, because everybody got so upset, including one of my buddies who sends me videos of all the bad calls from Hernandez and all these guys. They're challenging balls and strikes, so they're letting them, hey, that was a ball, that was a strike. The ump gets it wrong. The pitcher gets to challenge the catcher or the batter, and you get to do it over and over if you keep getting it right. You're supposed to get 2 challenges. If you get them wrong, then you're done. But if you keep getting them right, then they're unlimited. You just keep it going. Do you think this is good? This is what you want, to get balls and strikes right. Because I know there's arguments saying, oh, we got to get the balls and strikes right. So you want the challenge system that I watched today with my Cubs and Dodgers. My Cubbies are playing the Dodgers. It was the first inning, one of the first pitches, and the Cubs pitcher challenged it. It was a no nothing play. It was and we challenged it, and you can keep it going. Listener and text, this is insane. It was explained on the broadcast that every player can challenge every at bat. Well, it's still limited to 2, though. So it's 2 a game. But if you keep getting them right, yes, every player can challenge every at-bat. Balls and strikes. I mean, you can challenge multiple pitches in the same at-bat, is how I was seeing it today. So I can't take this one. Listener text, when an umpire like Angel Hernandez misses 25 to 30% of the calls that impacts the game, bad umpires will have some accountability this way. Well, but it's just going to really, really slow it down. Really slow it down. Let's see. What does the poll results say on the 605-720-1067? MLB started the experiment allowing players to challenge balls and strikes in spring training. They used the automated strike zone, so you can say, no, I think that was a ball. They'll go to the strikes. They'll go to the automated. That was a strike. You're out. Whatever. Do you want that? Get the calls right. Challenging balls and strikes over and over in a game. 54% of the audience says, yes, you have to get it right. 46% says, no, let's just live with the umps. I'm a little surprised. I'm thinking people say, well, we got to get this right. But if you watched it like I did today, I only watched 1 inning. That was it. I watched the first inning. And the Cubs pitcher challenged right away. I'm like, oh, boy. We're challenging balls and strikes? That would be like challenging every single call in a basketball game. Hey, it was off of him. Can I challenge? They only let you do that at the end of the games in basketball, right? College, NBA, that's at the end of the games. They don't let you challenge every single referee judgment call. I mean, good grief. Matt Zimmer kicks off the second hour. We'll get to him talking Summit League, SDSU, USD hoops. Where do they stand as the Summit League tournament approaches? Matt Zimmer, Sioux Falls Live, on next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Our locally owned Ace stores are committed to helping our neighbors and our communities. And because we're in the neighborhood, So shop in store or online for whatever your home or yard needs. Choose from top brands like Milwaukee, Steel, Traeger, and Benjamin Moore. Then pick up in-store, curbside, or we'll deliver your order right to your home. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know how to help. See acehardware.com for details.
Hello there, I'm a snowman. The South Dakota Lottery hired me to promote their new 60 Days of Winter giveaway. I get most of you don't like winter, but I love it. And now you can too, because the South Dakota Lottery is putting the win in winter with 60 days of giveaways. Every week features new winners and prizes, including concert tickets, gift cards, and more. So enter daily at 60daysofwinter.com. Hurry before winter is over and this contest is gone, like me. Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Hey, sports parents and ballers of all ages, Rapid City has a new sports facility that you have to check out. E3 Sports Complex on East North Street is the newest indoor sports facility featuring 4 full courts. E3 Sports is here to serve the community and wants all athletes of any age to come and experience expert training, coaching, and the opportunity to unlock your athletic potential. Memberships and court rentals are available now. Come to play at E3 Sports Complex. Learn more at e3sports.org.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Get ready to heat things up this month at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort with a hot tub and spa package from Rapid Spas worth $13,000. It's all part of Tin Lizzy's $100,000 Easy Street giveaways, and we're giving you one more chance to win this awesome prize in February. Use your Clubhouse card when you play, and we'll give you one free entry per day and an additional entry for every 100 points you earn. Join us on February 22nd, and you could win a brand new hot tub installed in your home. It's all happening at Tin Lizzy Gaming Resort on historic Main Street, Deadwood.
Talking car stuff with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail. We've talked about remote starts and how they can make your winter life better. But I know that's not the only thing you guys can offer to help brave the cold.
For sure. Remote starts are one of the things that top that list, and we can install an Arctic Start remote start system from just $299.
Nothing better than getting into a warm running car to keep you toasty, right?
Exactly. We also have year-round winter tires by Toyo with a 60,000-mile tread warranty that we absolutely love. They're perfect for where we live, and now save $40 on a set of 4, plus save 10% on our Duralast Pro Power Ultra batteries, the only battery with roadside assistance and a 5-year warranty.
Sounds like Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail is the place to winterize your rig.
Stop in or give us a call, and we'll go over all the remote start, tire, and battery options available, and we'll do it with the best prices in the area.
Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail, folks. See anytime.com. We're at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Welcome in, second hour, ready to go. Thursday edition of the program, South Dakota Sports Talk Show across the state. Glad you're here on Fox Sports Radio, the Nate Brown Show live. Rob Kagron's coming in. It is Thursday. That means Rob Kagron's in as our guest host this hour, so hang tight. He is on tap. A lot to discuss on this Thursday. And let's go Summit League. Let's get into a lot of stuff. Matt Zimmer back on tonight. Find his work at SiouxFallsLive.com. He's on Twitter at Matt J. Zimmer. Matt, welcome back in. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I want to talk hoops first, but I know you're a baseball guy, so I have to get your read on my question of the day. I know you have to tell me, Major League Baseball's testing out this new system in spring training. I watched one inning today of my Cubs. They played the Dodgers. First inning, the Cubs pitcher challenges a pitch. You can challenge balls and strikes with the automated strike zone. So they're testing this out, and you can do it unlimited if you keep getting it right. If the ump's wrong and you're right, you can keep challenging balls and strikes. Is this what you want?
No, it's not. I mean, I want them to get the calls right. I would almost rather just have them do the robot laser sensor, that just tells the umpire to say strike or ball. You can still have the umpire back there, but, the thing senses if it was in the strike zone, and it makes a little beeping sound, and then the umpire says strike.
That's what you
I'd rather have
want.
them do that than have this drawn-out, challenging thing. I'm not a big fan. No.
Okay. I wanted to see. I'm going to say, somebody else said that. If you're going to go full automated strike zone, just do it. Don't leave it up to the ump, and then you got to challenge or not. And that's my thing. Where do you think MLB's going to land here? I mean, this is the first time they're testing this out. Like, well, let's do the challenging system. I don't know if people want to challenge balls and strikes all game.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the one part of, you talk about the human element or whatever, and, for as long as people have been playing baseball, which is, almost 200 years, that's been part of it, that every umpire has his own strike zone, and he's going to, get some right and get some wrong, and that human element has always been part of it. And, I think I'm okay with that continuing to be the case. I don't feel like you have to take that out and have a 100% success rate all the time, but there's just so much money involved. And now that gambling is involved, I think that's really what's pushing all these things over the edge is there's going to be legalized gambling and everyone's betting on everything, then you got to get it right. So I think this is just the first step on the way to potential. Maybe they will at some point have everything fully automated and, full instant replay on every play in every sport, because I just think most people have the idea that if the technology exists to make sure we get it right all the time, then use it.
Matt Zimmer on tonight. Wanted his baseball take. Okay, now hoops. You covered it last night. South Dakota State men lose to North Dakota State. So I was told SDSU's going to be the favorite. Do you still think that?
I think just because of the home field advantage or home court advantage, I guess, that they always have in Sioux Falls, unless they're a decided step down from another team or two, you always kind of look at them as the favorite. And, I think this year they're clearly one of the best teams, but the field is really good this year. I don't remember a year where I think there were this many, not just evenly matched teams, but evenly matched good teams. Omaha's really good. North Dakota State's really good. USD and SDSU are really good. St. Thomas is really good. And obviously St. Thomas isn't eligible to go to the NCAA tournament, but they're still playing in the conference tournament. And, I almost think that's going to be more of a motivator for them to kind of go in there and say, let's win this thing, even though we can't go to the big dance and kind of, blow everything up. I think it's going to be a really fun tournament. Are the Jacks the favorite? I guess if you force me to bet some of my own money, that's probably who I'd take. Again, just because of their history and the fact that they are going to have the fans on their side. But it's wide open. There certainly isn't a team that you look at it and go, hey, this is their tournament to lose. I think there's legitimately 5 teams that have a good chance. Okay, when you look at SDSU, what's on the men's side? What's the crutch there? They can score a lot. Sometimes I wonder if they give up a lot. What's the crutch? There's some truth to that. Their defense comes and goes, but I think their biggest issue is just their inexperience, and that is what leads, I think, to their defense kind of being hot and cold. They have all 5 new starters from last year, and their best player is a senior, but he's in his first year on the program, in Oscar Clough, the big center that transferred in from Washington State. He's probably the most dominant player in the league, if not the best, but he's surrounded by a bunch of younger guys, some underclassmen. And they're really talented. Guys like Joe Seiler and Jaden Jackson and Owen Larson, they've been outstanding, tremendous for freshmen. But they're still freshmen, and they still have games where they make freshman mistakes and play like freshmen, and that can be on both sides of the floor. I thought last night the Bison did a good job of taking Oscar Clough out of the game with their defensive game plan, and then those younger freshman guards just kind of weren't up to the task of filling in for him. And they said after the game, hey, we weren't ready to go, or we didn't play hard enough, whatever. It's going to happen. But again, that's when you ask what's the Achilles heel of this team, I think it's just that they're really young, and they're asking a lot of really young guys. Matt Zimmer on tonight on the Nate Brown Show. Find him at SiouxFallsLive.com. Covers the Jacks, covered the game last night in Brookings. They lost to North Dakota State. So you post pictures, Matt Zimmer, okay? I like it. You post pictures. It was a big crowd last night. And then people discuss this,
And then people get mad about this, and I really want to know, what is the deal with South Dakota State fans versus USD fans? Bigger crowds at SDSU. I say it's winning, just end of story, that's it. Is there anything else?
Well, sure. I mean, SDSU's been Division I longer. Brookings is a bigger city than Vermilion. SDS, it's not just winning, in that year or in that moment in time. It's winning over time, over a long period.
Yeah.
SDSU's been to, 6, 7 NCAA tournaments. That's just on the men's side, and the women have been to 10 or whatever. I mean, when they first made the move to Division I 20 years ago, we didn't know if they'd ever go to the NCAA tournament, I mean, think how many programs are Division I for decades, and it never happens. That was kind of a pie-in-the-sky sort of goal at the time, and now here they are kind of going all the time. Well, USD hasn't been there yet. And I think if you're a casual fan or someone who's thinking about kind of jumping on the USD bandwagon, or you've moved to Sioux Falls or somewhere in South Dakota from another state, and you're kind of trying to pick a team sort of, or looking for something to do, you're going to gravitate towards South Dakota State. They're winning national championships in football. They're going to the NCAA tournament in basketball. Their games are full. They're putting more guys in the NFL and all these other things. The problem, I think, with USD a lot is they're always compared to SDSU. Well, SDSU isn't their only peer. I mean, they're in the Missouri Valley with all these other football schools that the Coyotes are in better shape than most of them. They just aren't necessarily better than SDSU and NDSU. Same deal in the Summit League. People are constantly worried about how the Coyotes compare to the Jackrabbits. Well, they might not be on the same level as the Jacks, but they're in a lot better shape than, Denver and Omaha and Kansas City and some of these other programs. So it's not so much that, oh my gosh, USD isn't getting it done, or they're falling behind, or they're not good, or they don't have any fans or whatever. It's just their rival that happens to be 100 miles north of them is farther ahead of them in everything. And, USD fans can try to come up with excuses or blame the media or blame whatever. It's just a fact that one program is farther along than the other. One program has more fans and more support, gets more people to their games, has had more success, won more championships, and, that's just, when two teams are in that situation, it's really good to be the one that's winning all the time, and it's not much fun to be the little brother.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you make a good point, because not like USD's, not like other programs, they're compared to SDSU. SDSU gets huge crowds. I was looking at Wyoming. Wyoming's playing Air Force the other night in Wyoming. It's D1, Mountain West. There was nobody there. I mean, there was nobody there. And it's like, yeah, it's an interesting point. SDSU gets some really good support comparatively to a lot of schools. Matt Zimmer on tonight. Great stuff. SiouxFallsLive.com. Find his work there. Matt, thanks for the time. Always appreciate it.
You bet, Nate. See ya.
Thanks a lot. Matt Zimmer on tonight. SiouxFallsLive.com covers the Jacks and the Summit League and USD. Yes. Find him on Twitter at Matt J. Zimmer. Into the second hour we are, and into it we go. Happy hour with Rob Kegron. Our guest host is in for the next 45 minutes, presented by the Skybox. Do we care if this happens on NFL Sundays? Rob cares. We'll see how much next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
No one has a handbook for what we're living through today, which is why the experience you have access to makes all the difference in how you make it to tomorrow. For decades, Dakota Bank has worked with ag producers through industry, economic, and regional changes. We're committed to agriculture. We're committed to the producers and families that make our communities great. Go with commitment, experience, and integrity. Dakota Bank, banking, insurance, mortgage, and trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and trust not FDIC insured.
It's the biggest savings event of the year. Menards' 11% rebate sale is here. Save big money on everything you need for any project. We've got something for everyone. Homeowners, contractors, DIYers, the kids, and even grandma. Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
11% mail-in rebate is a merchandise credit check. Good on future in-store purchases. See menards.com for details.
Rush fans, it's time to pack the arena. February 26th, the battle begins at 7:05 p.m. as the Rush take on Idaho. February 28th, Friday night's game fun is fueled by Dark Canyon Coffee. The first 250 fans score a free Rush-branded coffee bag. March 1st, Military Appreciation Night. Active duty and retired military members can grab $16 tickets. Join us as we honor our heroes. Plus a hockey puck bottle opener giveaway to the first 800 fans presented by AARP. RapidCityRush.com.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows of love around 8 above. Tonight, under clear skies, southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow, high of 42. Mainly clear skies. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 22. Mainly cloudy skies expected Saturday with highs around 51. 61 Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, it's 12 degrees.
The wait is over. We're clearing out our 2024 models at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. We've discounted all of our remaining 2024 models, but don't wait because stock is limited. New 2024 Sierra 1500 up to $9,300 off. 24 GMC Yukon as low as $71,927. Remaining 24 Sierra HDs up to $6,000 off. And 24 Cadillac Lyric EV up to $10,000 off. Spearfish GMC Cadillac, online always at spearfishmotors.com.
Building projects can be complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in. Thursday edition of the program. Hope you're having a good day across South Dakota. It's warming up. Barely. I hope you made it. The Nate Brown Show is on. Rob Kegron is in. Thursday edition. It is happy hour on South Dakota Sports Talk Show presented by the Skybox, Rapid City's #1 sports bar. They got stuff going on, man. 4 Nations tonight, 6 o'clock, Mountain Time start. So you got 4 Nations, USA against Canada. Look out. We'll discuss that coming up. But this song's called The Way It Is. The Way It Is. Is this the way it is, Rob Kegron? I lead in. What a lead in. This is just the way it is. I'm told this by Matt Kearney, the extraordinary producer of the Nate Brown Show. I'm told this by some listeners. The way it is, it's the sign of the times. You could have Sunday NFL afternoon primetime slot on Netflix every week. They said this week they want to bid. And if the NFL jumps out early out of the deal, they could do that in a few years. Netflix wants your Sunday game, the ones on Fox, the one on CBS. It's just the way it is.
One of the worst ideas in the history of ideas. How long have ideas been going on in this world? I guess since day one. One of the worst ideas I've ever heard in my life. And I read this story the other day.
Come on.
Enough already. Enough already. All right? You want to take Thursday night and put it on Amazon? You and I have talked about this many times. We hate it. We're old men. We hate it. I hate the fact that I can't change the channel. You want to take a standalone playoff game and put it on Peacock or Paramount or Amazon. It's standalone. There's nothing else going on at the same time. I don't like it, but that's the way it is. I'll give you that, right? Now you're going to ruin my Sunday afternoon when I'm trying to watch 8 games at the same time?
Oh, good point on that, where... Like, hey, you don't just lock into the Sunday afternoon game necessarily. You kind of pop around. You want red zone. You want to do some of that. So now you're in, you're out. That's a good point.
You're watching different games at the same time. What about if the game's a clunker, right? I want to get off of that, right? I don't want to be stuck where I have to be on this one particular service. Now, I get it. If A modern sports, you want to talk about the way it is, a modern sports fan has to have all of these subscriptions, unfortunately. That is truly the way it is, right? There's no way around not having all of these subscriptions.
Yeah,
You can turn them off and turn them back on, but eventually you have to be signed up for all of them because they have the way that they've structured these deals, they've essentially propped up all of their streaming platforms. So NBC makes a deal with the NFL, they make sure that they get something to go on Peacock, CBS with Paramount. They all are doing this. So I get that part. But when it comes to Sunday afternoon where the bulk of the games are, it has to be easy for the viewer. It should not be segmented. The way that the NFL prints money. They don't need any more. You want to give Netflix a standalone game once a week? Okay, that's your prerogative. But not Sunday afternoon.
Okay, so that's your kicker. It's the Sunday afternoon primetime window. Bad deal because now I got to get on Netflix. Now I got to get out. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over there. I asked the audience in the question of the day, if Netflix bid on the Sunday afternoon NFL games, got it each week, what would you say? 71% say stop with the streaming. And so maybe they don't love the streaming like you and I. We don't love it as it is, but they'll really not like it if now I'm trying to get in, get out, other games are on, the whole thing. Here's the one thing, and maybe you live with this. Netflix, if we don't get Sunday afternoon, why don't we just do the NFL Sunday ticket? So a streaming service like YouTube TV, they got that. You okay with that? Netflix Sunday ticket is on there.
Yeah, I am generally okay with that, Nate. You know, as soon as I was a DirecTV subscriber for, I don't know, as long as I can remember, just because of the NFL Sunday ticket. You were too, if I remember correctly.
I am.
Yeah, you still are.
Yes.
As soon as they got rid of the Sunday ticket, I got rid of DirecTV and went to YouTube TV. And while I didn't love it at first, I will say for the Sunday, I don't love it overall I don't like watching television when I know it's about 20 seconds behind. That's still mentally dry. I know I'm crazy. I know I'm crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I hate it because I'll have buddies who are watching it just on regular cable, and they'll text something that's going on.
You'll get it.
I have to put my phone like in the seat cushion, right in the couch, so that no one's bothering me. But for the YouTube TV, for the Sunday ticket, they've actually done a really good job, and they've improved year over year, in particular with being able to build your own 4-box, right, of games, right? That you could never do that with the Sunday ticket on DirecTV. Right. You either had the 8-box or the 4-box, but the 4-box was predetermined for you. This one with YouTube TV, they allow you to build it. There are a couple of restrictions, but I think they've done a really good job with that product. So I don't really care what service it's on, as long as I can watch all of the, and I have a 2 TV set up in my kind of like downstairs basement man cave thing, so I can set up, for the 11 o'clock games on Sunday morning, I have both TVs set up with 8 different games, 4 in one TV, 4 in the other. I'm watching them all at the same time.
So this would mess you up. Netflix.
If I have to put a third TV in to put a Netflix game on, I'm going to do it. If I'm being honest, I'm not going to lie to the audience and say, I'm going to stomp my feet and say I'm not doing it. I will do it because I want to watch the games, but I'm not going to like it. Right? I think they're making it more complicated because they're trying to attract, 1.5% more audience share of someone who doesn't watch TV the way you and I watch TV.
I guess, and the money. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
Absolutely.
So they're doing the Netflix deal for Christmas we reached some new people on there. We did the Christmas Day games, and we got more money. They got huge money on those.
That's what it was.
So now we can get even more money from Netflix. They're going to outbid CBS and Fox. But the deal is the NFL has been widely viewed, widely distributed. Why is it such a great product? It's king because I think we get to watch all of the games. It's easy. Fox, CBS, we're right there. Just to make it a little bit harder, I think eventually, you're not going to see it like when they get this. It'll be years from now. If it gets harder to view, I do think you lose some market share. It gets harder to view on these streaming services.
Absolutely. And I think where you really lose is the people, you said it best, right? They've had this wide reach forever, right? They've been on network television every Sunday.
Over the air.
Over-the-air television. You lose that reach of those people who are just entrenched in their way of doing things. You want to bridge out and do extra games, like you said, on Christmas and try to broaden an audience and make more money, I get that. When it's your bread and butter, you don't mess with what has worked for decade over decade.
I got a listener text. If the NFL adds an 18th game, Netflix will take that one. They'll just get the extra game and put it like on Friday night.
Well, I don't think they're going to go to Friday nights. I really don't.
Well, they start the season Friday night now the last 2 years.
That's
international.
One game. I don't think they go Friday. I think what would make most sense for Netflix, which is why it won't happen, is when they do go, not if, they will go to an 18th game, right? They will play a ton of international games as that 18th game. That's just the way it's going to be going forward. Give Netflix that game, right? That's an exclusive window game anyway, right? They're
going to want more than that. They're going to want more than just...
I think they're going to have a hard time competing with CBS and Fox. And I'm not saying that they don't have the money to do it, because they certainly do have the money. But if you're the NFL, don't they have to beat one of those networks by not just a little, by a tremendous amount for you to take it from over-the-air television to Netflix?
Maybe, but the NBA just went through this. They had TNT, a partner for 40 years, and now it was NBC. I get it, NBC Peacock, so it's a little different. But they bagged TNT, this 40-year deal.
I get it, but the NBA and the NFL, we can't even compare, right? Like the putrid ratings of the NBA this year, right? The fact that they almost had to go to an over-the-air thing. Not to say that TNT doesn't do a great job, but you and I love watching the NBA on TNT, love watching Inside the NBA. But they almost had to do something a little different and go almost backwards a little bit, because when you and I grew up, again, I know we say this a lot, we're not that old. We really aren't. I mean, in our early 40s, but the NBA on NBC was synonymous, right? Like, it just, you watched it every weekend, every playoff game. It was incredible.
They're trying to get that back.
And so that part makes sense to me. The NFL on Netflix just doesn't roll off the tongue. Sorry, folks.
Get ready. Netflix trying to get it, and they mentioned they would like Sunday afternoon window. The Sunday afternoon window. We'll have some time to shoot that one around. Rob Kagron in studio. It's the Nate Brown Show. Let's do this one tonight. I was told at the beginning of the show it's one of the biggest events in 45 years in a half an hour. Let's discuss if that's the case next.
This is South Dakota's Sports.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Andersen, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February's snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today, and please book your free estimate right now at RVARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Andersen.
We all know life's busy, and if you get sick, you can get behind pretty quick. That's where Black Hills Urgent Care comes in. No appointments needed, no long waits, just fast, affordable care to get you feeling better quicker. Black Hills Urgent Care has 2 locations in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can simply check in online at bhucare.com. That's with the letter U, bhucare.com. When you need care, see the team at Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better.
Do you have a financial game plan for your life? Hi, this is Lee Cruz, your local trusted New York Life agent here in Rapid City. My passion is helping you put the pieces in place for your family to make sure your game plan is a success. For over 175 years, New York Life has been helping people like yourself take action in securing their future. Don't wait, take action and Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. We will work together on putting your family first.
Looking for a great place for a pregame meal that really satisfies? Or maybe you want a place to take your all-star after the game. Or you're looking for a place to enjoy a delicious meal while watching your favorite team on the big screen TV. Valley Sports Bar and Grill has all the bases covered for all those things and more. Top-notch, friendly, and attentive service. Wall-to-wall big screen TVs with all the big games. And the absolute best wings in Rapid City. Valley Sports Bar. Make it your place. 1865 Valley Drive, Rapid City.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across South Dakota. It's South Dakota Sports Talk Show. If you miss parts of the show, the Nate Brown Show podcast is always available, so you can get to Apple, Spotify, Amazon. Every show, every guest. Good stuff this week. Search The Nate Brown Show, and you've got the podcast, every show at your own convenience. Fast forward, rewind. It's radio on demand. You've got it. Thursday Happy Hour presented by the Skybox, downtown Main Street, right above the Firehouse. If you want a place to watch the games, it is the Skybox, our favorite place, downtown Rapid City. How about this deal tonight? So this deal tonight, I'm going to tell you, has worked. I'm not a hockey expert. I didn't grow up playing hockey. I didn't grow up watching hockey. Hockey, to me, is a live sport. Really good live. I went to the Vegas Golden Knights, went to the Avs, that stuff. And it's a huge difference to me, Rob, that you go watch a live hockey game, this goes from 0 to 100. So the TV side of this has struggled. People talk about the NBA ratings falling off. The NHL is even worse. So the NHL ratings have died. This Four Nations face-off, we got a championship, Canada against the USA. Betting markets are alive. Ratings were good the other night with this USA-Canada last weekend. What do you think this Four Nations experience so far?
I think it's great. I think it's, when you look at, it's basically taken the place right now of the NHL All-Star Game, which would have been right around now anyway. So you're giving most of the players a bit of a break, which I think works, right? They're going to gear up for their stretch run and then the playoffs, which takes 2 months in the NHL. So I think that part makes a lot of sense. The NHL is about to re-enter the Olympics next year, right? So that makes sense, too, to start doing something that's more country-based. I like both of those aspects. I think what makes this work is the fact that the hockey player, above the rest of the other major sports, has tremendous pride in playing for their country. Not that to say that the other players don't. Particularly, this really works more in basketball. There's not a... Baseball has a World Baseball Classic, but that's not that big of a deal.
The World Baseball Classic isn't touching this.
Yeah, not even close. And there's nothing like it in football, of course. Basketball, the Olympics is huge.
Really good.
Right? But the hockey player has I think it's ingrained in them, right? Because if you think about what's one of the most interesting things that has ever happened in sports is something from 45 years ago.
Yeah.
People still talk about it. The 1980 U.S. men's Olympic hockey team beating the Russians in Lake Placid, New York, right? That is a moment. I mean, you could argue that is a top 5 moment in the history of sports.
And this guy said, this caller tonight on the show said, this deal tonight is the biggest thing since that. I think he was talking hockey. I don't know about that. I was like 45 years. This Four Nations game tonight, I think it's got some juice, but I don't think it has Miracle on Ice juice.
I don't think it does either. I think the Miracle on Ice has a lot to do with the Cold War, has to do with how dominant the Russians were for so long. These were collegiate hockey players, right? Not professional hockey. I'd say there are a lot of differences. I get the caller's point. There's more excitement for this game than in a really, really long time. But there have been some great Olympic battles between the U.S. and Canada that do well as well.
I see soccer have stuff like this.
Yes.
We talk about the World Cup, and it's passionate, and it's really good. Is this on the level of USA and the World Cup? It's not to me.
No.
Not this Four Nations thing.
No, because it's a bit artificial. Like, if we're being honest, right? We just handpicked 4 countries, right? And let's be honest, there are a lot of Russian and Czech players and other Eastern European countries that could field very good teams or could put on the ice very good teams. So the fact that there's only 4, it's a little bit artificial. But the fact that we got USA-Canada in the final, I think, is what elevates it, right? It is. There is a tremendous competitive spirit between these two teams. There's some bad blood, for sure, as you watched on Saturday night, where we didn't even start the game, and we had 3 consecutive fights.
Are they going to do that now, tonight?
There'll be a fight or 2. I don't think there'll be 3 consecutive to start the game. But I don't want to get into the geopolitical things, but there is a little bit of tension between Canada and the United States right now.
A little bit.
And I think that plays into it a bit, right? The fact that the Canadians booed our national anthem.
By the way, you can't do that.
You can't.
Right?
Absolutely not.
We're in agreement on that.
Yeah, for sure not. We can respect. And think about it. If you go to any NHL game, they play both anthems no matter where the game is or what team.
I saw that. I just went to a Canadian Avs game. I went to one in Denver a month ago.
And even if it's both teams are American, they still play both national anthems because they recognize that it's. It really is, let's be fair, a Canadian sport, and most of the players in the league are Canadian. Now, we've jumped leaps and bounds over the last couple of decades with the kind of players that we're producing as Americans, but there is some tension between these two teams. So I think that's going to go. If they got 5 million on Saturday night, I'm pretty sure it was 5 million to watch the game. I think they'll do a little bit better than that in a final. I know it's a Thursday night, but a little bit better than that.
There's
7 million.
Nothing going on tonight.
Thursday night is a light college basketball night as it is. NBA's just coming off their All-Star break. It is a perfect time for them to do. The NHL doesn't have a lot of great ideas, clearly, by their lack of ratings, but Gary Bettman has to get a lot of credit for putting this thing together.
Really good. Blew away the NBA. The NBA could have done something like this, USA against the world. People have talked about it the last 3 years. When the All-Star game started hitting the skids, they were, you should do this. They didn't. They came up with this 1st to 40 and Chuck Barkley and Shaq coaching teams. They're missing this.
They're missing a great opportunity, particularly with how much the NBA has evolved, and it's not there to where the NHL is, but how much it's evolved over the last 20 years with bringing in international players.
Yes, they could have a good team. I think they would get beat, but they could have a really nice team.
But they've brought in international players who are stars, right? It's no longer a given, and here's how you know this. It's no longer a given that the United States is going to win the Olympic gold every 4 years.
Right.
It's not.
Right. We had to fight for it.
They're still a favorite, but the days of the dream team that you and I grew up with back in, 92, I think, in Barcelona, where they beat everybody by 50 points, those days are long gone. Even in the 90s, we were growing up, and, they would bring an international player and a guy like Tony Kukoc. That's the guy that always comes to my mind first, right? Someone like that. They were very good players, but they were not not above,
not Jokic, not Giannis,
exactly,
not Luka,
right? These guys who are now dominant in the sport, who you can argue are top 5. You can argue that those 3 guys, Giannis, Luka, and Jokic, are 3 of the 5 best players in the NBA, and none of them were born in the United States.
I look at it, the NBA missed the boat, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if, we can't do it. The players, the reporting is, they want to do it. Players want to do it. The NBA missed the boat. They may try it. I just think if you watched an NBA All-Star game and you had Wembanyama and some of these guys against Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, I think it would get, it'd probably hit the 5 million mark.
Absolutely.
It's basketball. It's more mainstream than hockey.
Well, and I think what would end up happening is, even though it wouldn't be, say, as serious as what's this hockey game about to happen tonight, the players would take it more seriously, right? The fact of the matter is, if you say first to 40 wins, I mean, what are we playing on the playground here, or is this a professional sporting event, right? I mean, but if I have a little bit of pride in me, right, and I'm Steph, and he does, clearly. The guy's a great player, and he takes it seriously. But now he's going to go against Luka.
Yes.
He's gonna up his game on that random Sunday night a little higher.
Yeah, you just are. And you never have to worry about that with the hockey players. So one thing I'll say, I don't know how hockey has declined as much as it has, and it's a niche sport. I get it. But the mentality of the hockey player is tough, going to come to play every night, going to bring the lunch pail. I mean, fans love that. Yet hockey hasn't grabbed huge numbers. We love the hockey player, the mindset, the work ethic. It's not all about the money. It's not about me. It's all for one. Yet it still hasn't grabbed you.
And I think part of that, Nate, is the season's just too long. And I'd say the same thing about the NBA season, right? It goes from...
I don't know the players. Season's long.
Yep.
I don't know the players anymore. Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux, some of these guys, I knew them. Mark Messier, I don't know the players.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. You're right. The fact that, there are not enough stars, and you can't identify with them. And this is a huge difference between where basketball will still hold on a little bit, even though they've dropped off, is who the stars are.
Yes.
And they're on the court the majority of the game, right?
Yep.
In any kind of real game, Steph Curry is going to play 42, 44 minutes out of 48. The best hockey player, right? A Connor McDavid in a 60-minute game, 20 minutes, maybe.
And it's so
probably
fast
more likely 16 minutes.
In and out.
It's the defensemen who are going to play 20 minutes.
It's hard. It's a hard sport to watch on TV. Harder than most.
It is.
It is a harder sport to watch on TV. I got a listener text from a hockey fan to me.
Yep.
Hockey is the greatest sport on earth, Nate.
Well,
I respect hockey.
Yeah.
I just didn't grow up playing it. I don't know it. I watch games live. I think it's great. I have no complaints for it. I don't know the ins and outs of it. When you grow up playing a baseball and a basketball and a football, you know it. I don't know hockey as much. This could be a big one tonight. By the way, so we said you can't boo the U.S. national anthem. So Rob Kagron's at the stadium tonight. Canada's playing. What are you doing?
I wouldn't boo. I guess it depends on how many cocktails I've had before the game starts, if I'm being honest. But I wouldn't boo. But this game is being played in Boston tonight.
Oh, boy.
I would not be shocked. Let's just be fair. I would not be shocked if the booing starts before it even begins.
You hit that right on the money. You hit it right on the money. Sean McDonough says we need to be better than that. And people are upset with Sean for lecturing people to say, hey, guys, if Canada boos ours, we shouldn't boo theirs. Well, that's what Sean says.
Yeah, but Sean is a Boston guy, right? I mean, grew up in Boston. His father, the legendary Will McDonough, right? So he has a little bit of clout in Boston. I still think they're going to boo.
Yeah, he needs to, be careful, Sean. I got a listener text on Sean McDonough. They didn't like it. I like
Sean McDonough, though. He's an excellent play-by-play guy.
Okay, we'll see how this rolls tonight. So Rob Kagron would not to boo Canada.
Probably not.
I had a guest on tonight who said he's picking Canada, and I booed him when he was on the show. I booed him. Let's go to this. South Dakota State Legislature. There's a lot of things that they discuss. Would this ever fly in this state if what New Mexico's looking at doing through their legislature to college sports? Let's discuss, wrap up the show next.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The #1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
At Renewal by Anderson, we ask, why should we only feel the love on Valentine's Day in February? We have declared the entire month of February as the month of love. That's right, we did it. We laugh at February's snow and cold. We love installing the best new windows and doors. We love how warm, cozy, quiet, and more valuable our awesome windows and doors make our customers' homes. Love, love, love. Tell someone you love them today, and please book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Feel the love every day in February with Renewal by Anderson.
Today on Hey Culligan, buy to save. Here's a text from Devin in Denver. Hey Culligan, I'd love a water softener, but I don't want to pay for it. Devin, I can't help you there, but a Culligan high efficiency softener can help you save oodles on energy and detergent, so the savings can be even greater than the cost. And I'm getting a mind-blown emoji followed by, yes please. Devin, the savings are already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows of love around 8 above. Tonight, under clear skies, southwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mainly sunny skies. Tomorrow, high of 42. Mainly clear skies. Tomorrow night, lows dip down to about 22. Mainly cloudy skies expected Saturday with highs around 51. 61 Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 11.
Hi, I'm Bill at Wire for USA. If you're looking for internet, TV, security systems, or cell booster systems, why would you look at a company that only gives you one choice for each of these systems? Wire for USA offers it all. Viasat, Hughes, CenturyLink, Dish TV, DirecTV, Wilson cell booster systems, and now Starlink and Equistar internet systems. Starlink and Equistar are the newest, the fastest, and the strongest satellite internet made. No limit, no contract. Wire for USA has it. Call 605-341-5361. Whatever your home or business needs are, call Wire for USA for the products and the service. You don't need training wheels with our system. Connect to the future with Wire for USA at 605-341-5361. We are hometown, we are South Dakota, and we do appreciate your business. 605-341-5361. See us at our new location, 710 North La Crosse Street in Rapid City.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Welcome back in, the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Rob Kagron's in studio every Thursday. It's happy hour presented by the Skybox, our #1 sports bar in Rapid City, downtown, right above the Firehouse. Hit some Firehouse brews. Watch the Four Nations tonight's coming up. March Madness coming up. It's a great time of year. I know people say, "Oh, football's over." Great time of year. By the way, we got about 6 minutes left in this program, so let's hit it hot. Major League Baseball started implementing their new experiment. Rob Kagron, I watched this today for one inning. Okay, my Cubs are playing the Dodgers. First inning, Cubs pitcher threw a pitch. It was called a ball. They stopped the game. He challenged. It's a strike. The umpire looks. Okay, they showed the replay. Okay, it's a strike. It's 1-1. It's the first inning. It's Max Muncy. It was the first inning. It was 1-1 instead of 2-0. Who cares? What are we doing? Challenging balls and strikes? They're going to test this out right now.
Well, they're testing it in the first inning. I imagine once they actually implement a challenge system, most of these guys are not going to be challenging. They're going to they'll save them for later in the game when it's more consequential.
If they keep getting them right, they keep it going.
Well, eventually what's going to happen is it's all going to be automated. The umpire's just going to be sitting behind the plate, and he's going to be calling ball and strike, but the computer's going to be telling him in his ear what it is.
And you want that. You like that.
Well, I want it because I think they are far too inconsistent. You know, umpires have, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why this is, they've gotten worse as time has gotten on, not better, right? And particularly with calling balls and strikes. When I say worse, not better, I mean, they become more inconsistent, right? There isn't and it used to be that each umpire had their own kind of strike zone. There were pitchers, umpires, and and hitters umpires, and I could always accept that as long as they were consistent with their own strike zone. Unfortunately, the modern day umpire is not that consistent, and they run they show you all of these stats, and you have some really great umpires who don't miss many calls at all, but there are plenty of times when you look at that graph of the strike zone and how many pitches that they're missing. I mean, you can't miss 11% of the pitches. You can't miss 11.
Well,
you should not be a Major League Baseball umpire if you're missing 11%.
I'm thinking we should just take this into basketball and we should challenge every ball that's tipped out of bounds. Let's challenge it all game. All game. Let's do it. Not at the end. Not just at the end. Let's do it all game like we're doing it today. Major League, every ball that's tipped, every foul, every travel, every double dribble, every ball that's off my pinky. Who did it touch last? I'm going to challenge it starting in the first quarter.
This is a funny line. Who touched your pinky? I get that. But have you been watching college basketball, Nate? Like, they stop the game. The game still ends in like 2 hours and 20 minutes or so, but they're stopping the game all the time for those out-of-bounds plays to see who touched it. They're stopping it to review fouls to see if they're flagrant fouls.
Most of the time, it's most of the time with the possessions, it's towards the end. Most of the time.
Yeah, but it's I'm just betting on way too many games that I'm watching these games from the beginning to the end. It's happening way more than I ever remember. Now, I don't think we should go down that path, but theoretically for the ball and strike with baseball, this should be really quick, right? Because it's a computer that's determining it.
I watched it.
Should be saying it in his, but then they just got to perfect the system. But theoretically, it should eventually be very quick because they should just be saying in their ear, computer says strike. That's it.
Yeah, and Max Muncy still got on base, but nonetheless, it was a really important pitch. Let's get to this. I got 2 minutes. So I saw the story yesterday. New Mexico legislature, it's that time of year. They said we're going to cut out $2.5 million each for athletics, specifically for New Mexico Lobos, New Mexico State Aggies. Trying to get them some juice. They got it out of Education Committee. It's going to go to the Senate floor, so I don't know where it's going to go. Money specifically, in addition to the budget for the university, athletics specifically. Would that fly for SDSU and USD?
I don't think so. And I've only lived here for the last 8 years, so I'm certainly don't have the same history as you even do or other people do around here. But just my sense of where things are going with state legislature, I don't imagine that they would approve that it would be specific to the athletic department.
I sure don't think so.
Right? Maybe more
really
money to the university, and then they get to use it as they want. But to say that it's specific for athletics, I don't.
Some people say it's a smart investment, front porch of the institution. Would people know about South Dakota State as much as they do if it wasn't for their football and basketball programs?
No, and if you're going to make the argument that it's a good marketing tool, a good advertising for the university, and the university can be an economic driver for the state,
that's
I'm
what
all
New
for
Mexico's saying.
I'm all for it. But that's the only way you can spin this as doing something specific for the athletics, because the university is there to serve people from all over the state and outside of the state in all different kind of walks of life and all different kinds of areas of study. The only reason you're doing that is to market the university.
I just know how sports gets hit. Projects from West River to East River, sports, if they're sports, they get scrutinized, they get under the microscope.
Yep.
I think people are going to go, wait a minute, this is just for the Jacks and the Yotes. And you know what else is going to happen? South Dakota Mines, Black Hills State, Dakota State, Northern State. Hey, where's ours?
Yep.
They get they're the two big flagship universities, but where's ours? I don't think it would fly. University of Wyoming was also saying, hey, what if we got something like this, like New Mexico's doing? They're thinking about it. We'll see what happens on the New Mexico side. I never really thought you'd see a legislature say, yeah, we're going to give extra money specifically earmarked for sports. Rob Kagron in tonight. Always a great Thursday when we've got happy hour. Download the Nate Brown Show podcast. Every show, including tonight's, right there. Packed tonight. Ryan Brown from Alabama. Brian No, Fox Sports Radio. Matt Zimmer, Sioux Falls Live. And, of course, Rob Kagron. Thursday happy hour. The Nate Brown Show in the books. See ya.
It's the geometry teacher.